When we talk about relatives one, what do we find out here? In relatives, we generally find out relative pronoun, right? Are you listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what relatives are there? Relatives are nothing but referring to the relative pronouns that are the words that introduce relative clauses, right? And which are also known as the relative clauses, linking them to the main clause of a sentence. So they generally help provide additional information about a noun without starting a new sentence. The main relative pronouns are what? You can talk about who, whom, whose, and which, and that clause. Now, if I talk about who refers to whom? Who refers to people, right? Like if you talk about the man, so in that case, who is referring to whom? No, the man. So who is speaking is my teacher. The man who is speaking is my teacher. So generally, when we use who, so we don't need to introduce subject after that because we understand who and the man both are nothing but referring as a subject of the sentence. So therefore, when we say the man who is speaking is my teacher, so here we can understand that the man and who refer to the subject and they are referring to person. When you talk about whom, it also refers to people like you and they used as the object of a verb or a preposition. They can use as the object of a verb or preposition. Like you can take the example, the woman whom you met yesterday is my aunt. Now you can observe that here when we talk about the man, we use who, but when we use the woman, here we refer whom. So why? Now, because here you can find out who is used as a subjective case, whereas whom is used as an objective case. So as an object, we generally use whom. And second thing is called as after who, you don't find out the subject. We find out nothing but the verb. But here after whom, you immediately find out the subject is given. Right? You. The woman whom you met yesterday is my aunt. So that is what you would find out difference between who and whom. So who is used as a subject, whereas whom is used as an object. And when you use who as a subject of the sentence, we generally use what? Verb plus object. Verb plus object. But when you talk about means whom, after object, we generally find out the subject is used and then after plus verb plus object plus verb plus object. But remember, this is the case in which we are talking about who, whom, right? Uh, because when you say you met yesterday is my aunt, or you met the woman yesterday is my aunt. So in that case, the woman becomes the object of the sentence. So therefore, means after the woman, we generally put whom, right? Next is called as a whose. Whose is showing as a possession can refer to people, animals, or things or objects. Like you can say, example, the student whose book is on the table is absent. So the student whose book is on the table is absent. Now, whose book? You can say that the student's book. So in that case, the student is known as a possessive, right? The student is sorry, which is known as a possessive form, right? So similar to that, which is generally refers to animals and things, and also sometimes it refers to choice. Example: the car which is parked outside belongs to John, right? So you're talking about what? You are talking about the car um, outside belongs to John. So in that case, car which is referring to the car is nothing but an inanimate object, and which refers to the choice and uses using the means the car as a subject of the sentence. Next, that can refer to people, animals, or things. More commonly, that used in defining. clauses. That is used in defining what? Clauses. Example, if you say the book that you lent me was fascinating. Like I told you, that can refer to people, animal, or things, and more commonly used in defining. So here that is referring to what? The book, or you can say that what he was telling to you, that was correct. So in that case, that is generally refers to clause also, right? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Understood so far?
Sir, I understood four of the above, but
What does that refer to? That stated that it can refer to people, animals, or things, and more
yes, sir.
commonly used in clauses. What do you mean by clauses? Now
Sir,
that go ahead.
phrases are parts of sentences. Clauses.
Now you don't know clauses, and that's why you didn't understand. So the idea is called as when you're talking about clauses, clauses are also part of the sentence. Let's say that which are called as clauses. Now clauses are the kind of a words or a group of words that have you can say that are having with what subject, verb, and object, but still it is not a complete sentence. Let's say that if I say uh, uh, pronouns are words, right? So in that case, if you talk about pronouns are words, right? So in that case, what do you mean by that? So you need to, if you simply make a kind of a statement, pronouns are words, and if I put comma or full stop, then it is a sentence. So, but if you say they help, they help means uh, provide they help provide additional they help provide additional, right? So in that case, if you see this particular part, they help provide additional what? So in that case, here you would find out the subject is given, verb is given, but it doesn't make the complete sentence because it needs a means what you can say that it needs a kind of a complete object. Or if I do not use a provide additional, pronouns are words, it is a complete sentence. But second, they help. They help whom? They help what? So it doesn't make the complete sentence. So here you can say it is a clause. Whereas here you can say it is a sentence. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
So in that case, when you say that more commonly used in defining clauses, it means you are saying that uh, the help, right? That needed the poor, or the help that the help that uh, help the help that uh, connects the or that connects the you can say that object, right? They help that connect the object. So in that case, when you make it, you can find out here what? Like here you can find out that connect the object or objects will be nothing but called as a part of the sentence when used with the they help. So making a complete sentence. So that becomes nothing but referring as a what? Uh, a kind of a relative clause, right? So they help that connect the object. So that can be referred to the clause total clause. So that is what you would find out when you are using that. You can say that uh, you can use that what more commonly used in the clauses, and you can also use it in a sentence where you can refer to the people. Let's say that uh, uh, the baby, the baby, the baby that has been crying. So crying that has been crying since morning for its mother, right? Now, in that case, what happened? You would find out that this sentence that is referring to whom? That is referring to people, baby. Why that is referring to baby? Why not we use who here? Can we use who?
Yes, sir, we can use.
No, we cannot use who because who is referring to what? Male or female, right? Male or female. But here we do not know the gender of the baby, right? So in that case, we can say the baby that has been. Clear my point?
Sir, but it is written who refers to people.
Huh?
And
Who refers to people. So in that case, here we are talking about the baby. So we what we can use? We can use who? No issue with it. The baby who has been crying. But when you are talking about the baby, so it is referring to the neuter gender, isn't it?
yes, sir.
So in that case, we need to use that clause, which will be suitable here, because in neuter gender we generally use that. The baby that has been crying since morning. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's move to the other parts of it. Next is called as a relative clauses. So when we talk about relative clauses, what relative clauses are all about? So as far as we understood, these are nothing but a relative pronouns. Now we are going to discuss about relative clauses. Now when we talk about relative clauses, we can find out relative clauses are dependent clauses introduced by relative pronouns, right? So what relative clauses are? The relative clauses are dependent clauses. Now, what do you mean by dependent and independent? Right. So it is stated about dependent clauses.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, yeah, independent clauses which have their own meaning and they don't depend on any other clauses or phrases to have their complete meaning, whereas dependent clauses are dependent.
Relative clauses are dependent clauses introduced by relative pronouns. They provide more information about a noun in the main clause and are divided into two types. So, what are they? Now, one is called as the defining restrictive relative clauses. Let's say that the first one provide essential information about the noun they modify. So, they are crucial for the meaning of the sentence. They do not have commas around them, so let's look into this. The house that I bought is very old. Now, what do you find out? The house you find out, and I bought is very old, right? In that case, if you talk about that I bought is very old, is nothing but indicating as a relative clause. Why it is called as a relative clause? Because that which is a relative pronoun, which is joined with the what? Joined with the means independent clause to point out nothing but relative clauses. So without the clause, we would not know which house is being referred to, right? Isn't it?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Uh, so that is what known as a restrictive or relative clauses. But now if you observe the second one, which is stated non-defining, non-restrictive relative clauses. Now what is that? Now they provide additional and also non-essential information about the noun. They can be omitted without changing the fundamental meaning of the sentence. They are placed within commas. Who are placed within commas? Means that's called as a non-restrictive relative clause or non-defining. Let's say that the example is my brother who lives in Canada is coming to visit, right? Or is coming to visit. So in here you would find out the first one is my brother, second one is who lives in Canada, and third one is coming to visit. Right. Now the clause adds what extra information about the brother. So what is that? But the main point is that he is coming to meet. Right. He is coming to meet or visit. So in that case, my brother is coming to visit. My brother who lives in Canada is coming to visit. So in that case, the clause does what? adds extra information about the brother. So what is that extra information? You can talk about the extra information is nothing but who lives in Canada, right? Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to, let's discuss the rest of the things that called as a uses of relative pronouns. So when we talk about uses of relative pronouns, what we can find out here, uh, uses of relative pronouns, like I told you, who and whom, who is used as a subject of a clause and whom is used as a object of a verb or preposition. Please do understand that object of a verb or preposition. Like example is given, she is the one who called me. So here, she is the one who, all are referring as a subject of the sentence, and the called me is called as a predicate. And the second thing is called as, if you talk about she is the one who called me, is called as a relative clause. Similar to that, when you are using whom, it's used as the object of a preposition. So you can say she is the person, right, whom I called. So whom I called is a relative clause, and at the same time, she is the person is nothing but referring as an object of the means sentence. I called the person, right? So in that case, the person is nothing but an object of the verb. So in that case, who is the subject, whom is the object. Next is called as a whose. Next is called as a whose. What is that whose? You can talk about whose is referring to indicate possession. Like I pointed, whose is used for what? To indicate possession.
Possession.
Hmm. So like the artist whose painting you like, is famous, right? The artist whose painting. So you can say the artist painting. So similar to that, which and that, which is used for non-defining clauses. Please do understand that, which is used for the non-defining clause, and they can refer to animals and things, right? So like you can say the book, which is not non-defining. Non-defining means what just now we discussed. So when we talk about non-defining, which is called as a non-restrictive relative clauses, right? Got my point?
Yes,
So,
sir. Where extra information is given about.
yeah, and a comma is given, right? Now here you
Commas
would
are
find out, um, if you look into this, the book which I finished reading is very interesting, right? In this kind of a sentence, we generally use which. Uh, but that is used for defining clauses, means restrictive clauses, and can refer to people, animals, or things. Examples like you can say, the book that I am reading is very interesting. So it is here you would find out, means it is used for the defining clauses. So you can easily identify like if there is a comma placed or not. If there is no comma or no extra information, then it is used with a that. Right. Now, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, coming to the couple of more sentences. Now, here you would find out there are examples of relative clauses in sentences, defining relative clauses and non-defining relative clauses. Let's see that the students who study hard get good grades. The students who study hard get good grades. Now, here you would find out non-defining because no comma, no extra information, raw. But uh, the laptop that I bought last week is already broken. So in that case, these are called as a defining relative clauses. Non-defining relative clauses are what? Now, when you say my sister, who is a doctor, works at the local hospital, right? So who is my sister? Who is a doctor, works at the local hospital. So these are nothing but instead of telling means directly that she is my sister, or you talk to that woman is my sister. So you are making nothing but adding more information. The car, which was a gift from my uncle, needs repairs. So this is again called as examples of relative clauses in sentences. Next, there are certain examples or exercises. Can you make them? Can you do them?
Yes, sir.
There
I
are
have
such.
to do
Go for it. It is stated the woman is my aunt. She lives next door.
combined sentences using relative. The woman is my aunt. The woman is my aunt who lives next door.
Yeah. The woman who lives next door is my aunt, right? So you can say that the woman, right, who lives next door, who lives next door is my aunt, right?
Okay.
Uh, so second, and also like you pointed, the woman means is my aunt who lives next door. Now, who lives next door? The woman lives next door, or my aunt lives next door? Yeah. So next is question 2. Tell me.
Was delicious. She baked it for my birthday. The cake she baked for my birthday. Uh, the cake that she baked for my birthday was delicious.
Yeah, the cake that was baked for my birthday, or the cake that baked, uh, yeah, the cake that baked for my birthday was delicious. You can say that. Um,
Sir, or the cake which was baked for my birthday was delicious.
yeah, you can say that. Only thing you need to combine them. Third, the car is mine. Its tires are flat. So I can say that the cake that was baked for my birthday was delicious. Right.
Yes, sir.
Now, in that case, also my birthday was delicious or the cake was delicious. Uh,
My birthday. Nothing, sir. Means the sentence is not correct.
uh, the cake that was baked for my birthday, uh, that was baked.
The cake that was baked for my birthday was delicious. Here, that refers to the cake.
Okay. So final will be we can make it like this. The cake, the
Yes.
cake that was baked baked for my birthday was delicious. Okay, fine. Moving to the next one. The car is mine. Its tires are flat.
Okay. First two things. The the car whose tires are flat is mine.
The car whose
Whose
tires
tires are flat is mine.
are flat is mine. Okay. Now, next is the movie was great. We watched it last night.
The movie that we watched last night was
Was
great.
very good. The movie that we watched last night was great. Very good. Let's see that the answers. Now you can find out that the woman who lives next door is my aunt. Okay. So the cake that she baked for my birthday was delicious. Very good. We left a C. Right? So the car whose tires are flat is mine. Then fourth, the movie which we watched last night was great. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Am I clear or do you find any doubt? Please do ask.
No, sir. It is clear. It is like relatives are relatives is relatively easy.
Yeah, that's what you. Okay. So